basically, since I was born, I've been going to this church, Korean Central Presbyterian Church. Like having another family almost, because you have your family at home, and then you have your school, and then you also have your church, and it's a place where it's a different place.
It was really hard to transition from a Korean environment where everyone was speaking Korean and to an English environment where no one was speaking Korean. So, I mean, it was really stressful. And going into a Korean church, it was really, it was really heartwarming. It was great. So, because I was able to meet more Koreans, new Koreans that I've never met before, and just be in an atmosphere where I'm comfortable.
Church played a huge role in terms of the social aspect of Koreans, and Koreans are very much an interdependent and dependent type of society in Korea, a very multi-generational kind of altogether, and yeah, the church played a huge role in terms of bringing Koreans together in a place where they could meet and socialize and retain some of their heritage and their culture when they've immigrated to a foreign country where they don't speak the language, they don't look the same, the food tastes different. And so church served a very big social role that really helped people to feel integrated still into the Korean culture.
United Church got crowded, right? And there are some people that they really want to have a church, like a church. Back then, there was no separate Korean society meetings, or it's pretty much the whole thing was done at the church. So that was church was the hangout place for all the Koreans, whether you believe Christian or not, really. So it was more like it's a community center than a church. So slowly from United Church, we're breaking up. So Presbyterian, and Baptist, and Full Gospel. So our Jungang Presbyterian Church was one of them, right? I'll say probably 40, 45, somewhere around there.
And it started 1981.
81 in Coquitlam.
Oh, in Coquitlam.
And we were renting a small Canadian church.
코멀레이크? 네, 코멀레이크 교회가 이 교회가 있었어. 근데 코멀레이크 교회 있을 때 교회가 빌려보는 교회가 인원이 30-40명 됐을 때는 백인 교회가 오케이해. 왜 그러냐면 우리 멤버가 적기 때문에.
And we got a new pastor from Korea, younger pastor from Korea, took over. And then we moved to, same time we moved to New Westminster. We're renting a bigger Canadian church. So by that time we grew to probably about 80, almost double the member in 2-3 years.
그러다가 이제 우리가 100명이다, 120명이다 하면 또 멤버가 커지면서 우리도 바빠지고 또 애들이 또 많아지면은 애들이 또 말썽 부리기 시작하면 막 교회의 문도 망가뜨리고 막 여기서 저기까지 붕붕 뛰어다니면서
We got kind of kicked out of that church because our kids were
Body.
yeah, they pulled the fire alarm. You know, I don't know how many times, and the fire truck showed up, and then of course we were having Korean meal. Not every day we couldn't, but some occasions, right? And like Thanksgivings and the Caucasian people didn't quite like the food, the smell, that kind of thing. So.
교회 빌리러 다니진 정말 거진 이 코키트남 이 교회를 다 다니면서 그때 그러니까 교회를 빌리러 다니는 사람은 내 교회가 있어야 된다는 마음이 너무 절실한 거야. 네. 정말 안타깝게 기도도 많이 했고 울부짖음도 많았어. 그러다가 또 뉴웨스민스터 시가에 거기 갔더니 또 불이 홀딱 났잖아. 그때 우리 있었던 거 다 잊어버렸잖아. 뭐 어쨌든 뭐 교회 이렇게 비품 같은 거 뭐 성가대 가운데 그런 거 다 불타고 다 없어지고.
Like I said before, that the role of a Korean church was necessary. Yeah. For the first immigrants, because of the language barrier.
When you come and you have nothing that's familiar to you, language barriers, and I think it's a like they kind of cling to what's familiar, and I think at that time, whether you had faith or not, coming to a church community was something that you can get like a community gathering with fellow Koreans. And
church has definitely built like lifetime relationships, friendships, whatever.
I had preconceived notions of what I thought, how the Korean churches were built, and that was partially on faith, but more partially on loneliness, culture-wise. And I think I would totally understand that, because if I were in a different country, I think I would long for people who understood me, because there are cultural differences wherever we go. And even as a second gen, I can't identify myself as a Canadian, but I can't identify myself as a Korean either. So
We needed an environment where we could tailor the gospel, the message, everything that Christianity is about, in Korean. We needed to have it in Korean because there was no way they could understand English. So to have an all-Korean church, I think, is just the way it had to have started. And at this point, now it doesn't seem very necessary, and it just seems like racial preference or something like that. But I think it's because it's the way it's been for so long. There's always a great saying that, the church isn't for good people or people that think they're good. It's like a hospital. It's for the sick. It's for the needy. It's for the people in need. So
it is a place for fellowship and community, for in that cultural aspect. So I think a Korean, I know I'm repeating myself, but very simply put, it's a mixture of both religion and culture. And in any Korean church you go to, there is going to be that culture and that mindset in it, in the way it's structured and in the way programs are run. So that's the first gem.